Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how difficult it can be to ask for help, even when you need it the most? We all like to think of ourselves as strong and independent, but make no mistake, refusing help doesn't make us stronger. It isolates us. Julie learned this the hard way, and her story might just make you rethink how you approach asking for help. Today, we're diving into why letting others assist you can create meaningful connections, ease your struggles, and bring warmth into your life when you least expect it. So stick with me, because we're about to explore a simple yet powerful habit that can transform the way you live and connect with those around you. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Julie never intended to isolate herself from the world. She was once the kind of person who lived with energy, love, and curiosity about life. But over time, little things started to change. It was as if a slow drift had begun. And at first, she didn't even notice. She started to complain more. It wasn't that she didn't have every right to be frustrated. Aging comes with its challenges, and the world, as she saw it, had certainly changed. But the more she voiced these frustrations, the more they became her reality. Every little ache, every shift in the world around him became a reason to talk about how things were better back in the day. Slowly but surely, complaints started to overtake her conversations, and she began to withdraw from people. It wasn't just the complaints. Julie stopped making an effort to keep up her appearance. She had always looked put together. She had a closet full of stylish blouses, the perfect scent that was uniquely hers, and a hairstyle that was always immaculate. But with time, she let go. She thought to herself, whom do I need to impress? She stopped wearing makeup, began skipping haircuts, and started wearing baggy clothes, anything that was easy and comfortable, anything that didn't require effort. At first, she told herself it didn't matter, but deep down, she knew something was off. She just didn't know how far this would go. Julie didn't realize how much her habits were creating a distance between her and the people she loved. She felt that others were avoiding her, but she never fully understood why. Friends didn't engage in deep conversations with her anymore. Her grandkids started making excuses to not visit, and the once cheerful greetings she received from strangers had faded into polite indifference. What she didn't see, though, was how her negativity and lack of effort were slowly isolating her. She thought she was just being honest with the world, but in reality, she was pushing everyone away with every complaint, every judgment, and every time she stopped caring for herself. Negativity, no matter how justified, becomes a weight that others feel, and they begin to pull away. No one wants to be around someone whose presence drains them, no matter how much they love you. And Julie's story isn't an isolated case. Many seniors, without even realizing it, fall into these same patterns. These small changes in behavior and mindset can slowly turn aging into a lonely, isolating experience. The complaints pile up. The desire to stay engaged with the world diminishes. It feels like life is just slipping by. And before long, you're sitting in the silence of your thoughts, longing for the connection that used to be so easy to maintain. But I truly believe it's never too late to make a change. It doesn't have to be this way. And the good news is, you can start turning things around today. Acknowledging these small habits and the toll they take on our relationships is the first step toward reclaiming the joy and connections we deserve. We all need to be more aware of the things that erode our happiness and relationships. These are the things no one talks about, and yet they slowly affect all of us as we grow older. It's important to recognize these patterns before they become entrenched in our lives. Let's take a closer look at how we can break free from them. I've seen it time and time again, and I know how easy it is to slip into a cycle of negativity. The world changes quickly, And it's natural to feel frustrated when things don't seem to make sense or when our bodies no longer work like they used to. We all feel it. The aches, the pains, the frustrations of trying to keep up with new technology, or even the stress of simple tasks that have become complicated. It's normal to vent about these things. But when that venting becomes your default, it becomes harder to see the beauty around you. It becomes harder to recognize the good in the people you love, in the things that once excited you, and in the joy of just being alive. It's easy to forget how much impact our words and attitude have on others. So when we talk about change, we're not just talking about adjusting how we see the world. We're talking about reclaiming a mindset that opens the door to connection, warmth, and joy. Start small. Lead with something positive in your conversations. Instead of complaining about the weather, try talking about something beautiful you noticed that day. Instead of focusing on all the things that are wrong with the world, ask about something that's going right. When we focus on the positive, we invite others to see that positivity too. Our energy becomes infectious, and people want to be around us because they know they'll leave feeling uplifted, not drained. Julie learned this the hard way, but when she decided to change, to start each conversation with something positive, and to open herself to curiosity instead of criticism, something miraculous happened. Her relationships began to shift. People began to stay longer in her company. They opened up in ways they hadn't before. It was as if the wall she had built with her complaints and judgments started to crumble. I believe we all have the power to do this. If Julie can change, so can we. So I ask you, how are your conversations? Are they pulling people in, or are they unintentionally pushing them away? Think about it. It's never too late to begin turning things around. Julie also didn't realize how much her lack of effort in her appearance was affecting her. She convinced herself that it didn't matter anymore, that she didn't need to impress anyone. But in doing so, she started to feel less like herself. When you don't take care of yourself, when you let go of the things that used to bring you joy, it's hard to feel good about who you are. And the truth is, people can sense that. When you don't value yourself, it's hard for others to see your worth. I know from personal experience how easy it is to let go of self-care. Life gets busy, and sometimes we feel like we don't have the energy to put into our appearance. But that's when we need to remind ourselves the most. Taking pride in how we present ourselves is a powerful form of self-respect. It's not about vanity or trying to look younger. It's about honoring yourself, your history, and your journey. It's about showing the world and yourself that you're still here, still engaged, and still worthy of love and respect. Julie didn't realize how much she had lost touch with her vibrant self until she made the conscious decision to start caring again. She started with small changes, dressing up for herself, doing her hair, and looking in the mirror with a sense of pride. And you know what? People noticed. Her friends started inviting her out again. Her grandkids started visiting more often, and strangers even complimented her on how she looked. It wasn't just the way she appeared on the outside, though it was the way she started feeling inside. When she decided to take pride in herself again, she began to reconnect with the woman she used to be. And that connection, the one she had almost lost, came back slowly but surely. So I urge you, don't wait for things to get worse. Take a good, honest look at your own habits, your own mindset, and your relationships. What are you doing that's pushing people away? What can you change today to start bringing warmth and connection back into your life? It's never too late to make a change. And believe me, the results will be worth it. So, how do you turn things around? It starts with simple, daily choices that can truly shift the way you feel and how you connect with the world around you. First, get dressed every day, even if you're not going anywhere. I know it might sound trivial, but believe me, putting on clean, well-fitting clothes can work wonders for your mood. It doesn't need to be fancy, just clothes that make you feel comfortable and good about yourself. Wearing something you love, something that reminds you of who you are, can instantly brighten your spirit. I know for myself, when I wear a piece of clothing that makes me feel vibrant, it's like the world suddenly feels a little lighter, a little more exciting. And don't forget about your hygiene routine. Shower regularly, keep your nails neat, and take a moment to brush your hair or moisturize your skin. These small acts of self-care may seem insignificant, but they send a message to your brain that you matter, that you're worth taking care of. I've personally found that when I neglect these little habits, I start to feel disconnected from myself. It's like telling myself, I'm not worth the effort, and that can spiral into a deeper sense of isolation. Wearing colors that make you feel alive, bright hues or coordinated outfits can shift your energy. They have a way of making you feel more put together, more ready to face the world. Throw on a meaningful accessory. Maybe it's a beloved watch, a favorite necklace, or even a spritz of your favorite perfume. These aren't just material things, they're symbols of your identity, joy, and the life you've lived. I remember when Julie first started making these little efforts, brushing her hair, wearing her favorite blouse, and adding a dab of lipstick. It wasn't about impressing anyone, it was about reclaiming herself. And guess what happened? She walked into a room and people smiled at her again. That small change made her feel lighter, more confident, and most importantly, like herself once again. When you take care of yourself, you are telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you are still very much alive, engaged, and worthy of connection. One afternoon, Julie was struggling with a heavy bag. She had parked her car when a kind young man noticed her and offered, "Need a hand with that?" At first, Julie smiled politely, shaking her head. "No, thank you, I've got it." But in reality, she didn't. As she dragged the bag inside, her back ached, and a sense of frustration rose in her. She wasn't just tired from the physical effort, she was exhausted from the loneliness that seemed to follow her everywhere. She had rejected someone who simply wanted to help. It wasn't weakness that she had shown, it was her fear of being a burden. That night, as she lay in bed, Julie realized something painful. Her refusal to accept help wasn't making her stronger. It was isolating her. And that's a harsh truth, isn't it? Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows vulnerability, yes, but it also creates connection. You're allowing others to care for you, and in doing so, you remind them that they matter too. People want to help, but if you keep rejecting their offers, they will stop asking. Accepting help isn't just practical, it's emotional. It builds warmth, it fosters connection, and it makes life a little bit easier, both physically and emotionally. I think we all know how isolating it can feel when no one seems to need us, so imagine what a gift it is to allow someone else to help. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment one below to let me know that you are still here with me. Next time someone offers help, try saying, "Yes, that would be great, thank you." It's such a small thing, but I promise it'll feel so much better than struggling alone. Accepting kindness isn't a weakness, it's an invitation to build a bridge, to let people in, and to let them know that you're still open to connection. The next time Julie went to the store, she saw that same young man again. This time she smiled warmly and said, "Actually, I could use a little help today." His face lit up as he grabbed her bag, and in that simple exchange, Julie felt something she hadn't in a while: connection. She realized she didn't have to do everything on her own. Life can be much lighter when we let others share the load. Have you ever struggled with asking for help or experienced the joy of helping someone else? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Julie had always been so careful with money. She had lived through tough times, so she clipped coupons, skipped vacations, and always hesitated before buying something that wasn't necessary. Even though she had a comfortable amount saved, she was constantly worried. What if I need this money later? What if something unexpected happens? One day, her best friend Linda invited her on a weekend trip to the countryside. It'll be fun, Julie. We'll explore, eat good food, and just relax. Julie's first instinct was to say no. She could think of 100 reasons why spending money on travel was a bad idea. I could save that money for something else. I'm better off staying home. But then, deep down, something started to stir. She asked herself, when was the last time I treated myself? For years, she had been saving for some day that never seemed to come. But what if that day never arrived? She was missing out on moments that could bring joy to her life, all because she was holding on to her savings like they were her lifeline. And I get it. I do. It's easy to prioritize saving over living. But here's the thing, enjoying your money matters. Sure, being financially responsible is important, but life is about more than just saving. It's about living, too. Studies have shown that spending money on experiences, like travel, outings, or hobbies, brings lasting joy. Material things, on the other hand, quickly lose their value. I've experienced it myself. Those shiny new things might make you feel good for a moment, but they don't compare to the joy of a beautiful memory shared with loved ones. You've worked hard to reach this point in your life, so why not enjoy the fruits of your labor? Money isn't just for saving, it's for living. Finding a balance between saving and living is key to a fulfilling life. So, how do you change the habit? Permit yourself to spend money on things that bring you joy. Whether it's a nice dinner, a hobby you've always wanted to try, or a spontaneous weekend getaway, let yourself experience life without the constant worry. Set aside a fund money just for the experiences that fill your soul. Ask yourself, if not now, when? Life doesn't wait. Julie took that trip with Linda, and she found something she hadn't expected, a sense of freedom, a reminder that life is meant to be lived. The world didn't end just because she spent a little money on herself. Instead, she came back feeling rejuvenated, more connected, and with a heart full of gratitude. If you're holding back, wondering if it's time to treat yourself, I encourage you to go ahead, make that purchase that adds joy, book that trip that's been on your mind, and experience life for all the beauty it has to offer. Julie finally said yes to the weekend trip. It wasn't easy at first. Her mind raced with all the reasons she shouldn't go. But when she got there, something shifted. Over those 2 days, she laughed more than she had in months. The joy came easily without effort, without hesitation. As she watched the sunset with her best friend, the beauty of the moment hit her like a wave. This was exactly what she had been saving for all along, the moments that filled her heart and reminded her of the vibrant life she still had to live. Those 2 days weren't just an escape. They were a reminder to herself that life is for living, not just for saving. When was the last time you invested in an experience that made you feel alive? What's one experience you've been putting off because of money? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's start a conversation about the power of living in the moment. Julie loved her grandson, Ethan. He had always been the light of her life, and she cherished their visits. But recently, their time together had felt different, shorter, more awkward. Ethan had grown, and his world seemed so far removed from hers. He used to talk to her for hours about school and video games, but now their conversations felt like a series of disconnected moments. One day, Ethan mentioned a new app he was excited about. Julie sighed and shook her head. Back in my day, we didn't need all this technology. Kids played outside instead of staring at screens. Her words were meant to reflect a simpler time, a time when she felt the world was more connected. But as soon as the words left her mouth, she saw Ethan's face fall. He went silent. A few minutes later, he checked his phone and mumbled, "I should probably get going." As the door closed behind him, Julie was left with a heaviness in her heart. She hadn't meant to push him away. She only wanted him to understand how things were when she was young. But had she, in her attempt to share wisdom, made him feel dismissed? Had she made him feel like his world didn't matter? Why does this approach push younger generations away? It's natural to want to share what you know, but constantly comparing the past to the present can unintentionally make younger people feel criticized rather than understood. When you focus only on how much better things were before, it sends a subtle message. Your experiences don't matter. And that can be isolating. Times change, and that's okay. The truth is, every generation faces its own unique set of challenges, and it's important to acknowledge that. Instead of creating distance, we should be building bridges. Connection happens through encouragement, not criticism. If we want to keep our relationships with younger generations strong, we need to approach their world with curiosity, not dismissal. Showing an interest in their experiences helps us stay connected, even when we don't fully understand them. How do you change this habit? Be curious, not dismissive. Instead of saying, "We never had that in my day," try something like, "That sounds interesting, tell me more." Be open to learning about their world. Ask questions. Share your own stories in a way that relates to their current experiences, rather than focusing on how things were different. Encourage them. The younger generation thrives on support, not judgment. Your words have the power to inspire, not discourage. When you approach the conversation with an open heart, you can spark their interest and show them you truly care. The next time Ethan visited, Julie decided to try something different. When he mentioned his favorite game, she smiled and said, "What do you like about it?" Ethan's eyes lit up as he started explaining the strategy behind it, the characters, and the challenges he faced. For the first time in a long while, their conversation flowed easily, and as the evening went on, Julie could feel the connection building again. Ethan stayed longer than usual, and Julie realized something important. Connecting across generations isn't about trying to change them, it's about understanding them. When we seek to understand rather than judge, we open doors to deeper, more meaningful connections. Have you ever felt disconnected from younger generations? I know I've struggled with this at times too. What helped bridge the gap for you? Let's talk about it in the comments. Your experiences can help others navigate these challenges. Later, Julie sat by the window, staring out at the falling leaves. It was that time of year. Again, the holiday season was approaching. But instead of feeling the warmth and joy that usually came with it, Julie felt a familiar heaviness in her chest. She thought about the friend who had betrayed her years ago, the argument with her sister that had never been resolved, and all the things she wished she had done differently in life. The past had a tight grip on her, like a film that kept replaying in her mind, one that she couldn't turn off. The more she thought about it, the more she felt stuck. Her regret, her sorrow, her unhealed wounds, they all sat heavy on her heart, clouding her thoughts and emotions. One day, as she sat lost in thought, her neighbor Linda noticed the distant look on her face and asked gently, "What's on your mind, Julie?" Julie sighed, feeling the weight of the years and the pain that lingered. "I just keep thinking about things I can't change," she confessed. It's hard, isn't it? The things we can't undo, the mistakes we can't take back, the moments that linger with us long after they've passed. But here's something I've come to realize. Carrying the weight of regret doesn't make us stronger. It holds us back. Healing starts with letting go of what we can't change and focusing on what we can still do. Life is short, and while we can't change the past, we can always shape the future. If Julie could release herself from the grip of past regrets, maybe we all can. It's not easy, but it's possible. And it starts with forgiveness of others and ourselves. Linda smiled gently, her words a quiet comfort that cut through Julie's clouded thoughts. Holding on to the past is like carrying a heavy suitcase everywhere you go. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you set it down. Julie paused, the weight of those words sinking deep into her heart. The past, with all its hurts, regrets, and unhealed wounds, had been a constant companion in her life. It wasn't until Linda spoke that she realized how much it had been holding her back. Holding on to grudges and regrets isn't just emotionally exhausting, it's physically draining too. It steals your present joy. Every moment spent dwelling on old pain is a moment stolen from the beauty of now. Instead of embracing the love and connection around you, you're wrapped in the bitterness of what could have been. This constant focus on the past strains relationships too. When we hold on to past wrongs, it creates a wall between us and others. We don't even realize it's happening. We think we're protecting ourselves, but in reality, we're pushing those we care about away. Bitterness is like a silent toxin. It doesn't just eat at your soul, it chips away at the bonds you've worked so hard to build. And let's not forget the toll it takes on your health. Stress from unresolved grievances can affect your blood pressure, disrupt your sleep, and weaken your immune system. We carry all of this baggage without even knowing how it's physically manifesting in our bodies. It's like our emotional pain is seeping into our physical well-being, creating a spiral of discomfort that affects every part of us. So, how do you begin to let go? It's not easy, but it's possible. The first step is accepting that the past can't be changed. Instead of asking, why did this happen? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective can transform the way you see your past. Practice forgiveness, not for the other person, but for yourself. Forgiving doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means releasing its hold on you. It means reclaiming your peace and emotional freedom. Julie found a powerful way to let go. One night, she sat down with a piece of paper and wrote down everything that had been weighing on her heart. Every regret, every anger, every unhealed wound. And then, with a deep breath, she let it go. She tore up the paper and let the past fade away. For the first time in years, she felt lighter. She felt free. Have you ever let go of a past hurt? It's not easy, but when you do, the relief is overwhelming. What helped you move forward? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's share our stories of healing together. Julie had always prided herself on being independent. She didn't like asking for help, and as she got older, she brushed off small health concerns. Dizziness and blurry vision, she chalked it all up to aging. It's just part of getting older, she'd tell herself. But one morning, as she reached for her coffee mug, the dizziness hit her harder than before, and Julie didn't see it coming. She lost her balance and fell to the floor, pain shooting through her hip as panic set in. She couldn't move. She tried to call out, but nothing came out. Hours later in the hospital, the doctor's words echoed in her mind, Julie, this could have been prevented if we had caught the issue earlier. Why is ignoring health problems so dangerous? Small symptoms, things we often dismiss as part of aging, can signal something far more serious. Dizziness could indicate dehydration or even the early signs of a stroke. Fatigue might seem like just part of the natural aging process, but it could be undiagnosed heart disease. When we ignore these warning signs, we delay treatment, and that can make all the difference in the world. Many seniors avoid going to the doctor, thinking their symptoms are minor or inevitable, but by the time they finally seek help, the problem has escalated. Prevention is always easier than dealing with a crisis. How can you stay on top of your health? It starts by listening to your body. Don't ignore symptoms just because they seem small. If something feels off, it's worth getting checked out. Schedule regular checkups, even when you feel fine. Routine visits can catch problems early before they become serious. Never downplay new symptoms like dizziness, chest pain, or forgetfulness. Stay proactive with your health, eat well, stay active, and prioritize sleep. Your daily habits truly shape your long-term well-being. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. After her fall, Julie made a promise to herself. No more ignoring the warning signs. She scheduled her next doctor's visit, started drinking more water, and even joined a balance class at the community center. She realized that staying independent didn't mean pushing away help. It meant taking control of her health before things got worse. She wasn't weak for seeking support, she was wise. Have you ever ignored a health issue that later became serious? What helped you take action? Let's talk about it in the comments. Your experiences might just be the encouragement someone else needs. One evening, Julie sat in her quiet living room, flipping through old photo albums. As she flipped through the pages, memories came flooding back. She saw photos of herself from years ago, laughing with friends, playing with her grandkids, dancing at family gatherings. She could almost hear the laughter and feel the joy in those moments. But as she looked at the photos, she couldn't help but ask herself, when was the last time I laughed like that? Life had become a routine: wake up, do chores, watch the news, go to bed. Somewhere along the way, she had stopped seeking joy. It's easy to fall into this trap. The demands of life, the worries, the routine, they can wear us down. Before we know it, we stop looking for moments of happiness. But Julie realized something powerful that night. Joy doesn't come on its own. Sometimes we have to choose it. We have to actively seek out the things that make us laugh, make us smile, and make us feel alive. Have you ever found yourself in a routine, forgetting what joy feels like? What helped you rediscover it? Let's share our thoughts in the comments and talk about how we can bring joy back into our lives. One evening, Julie's neighbor Linda invited her over for a movie night. Julie hesitated at first, reluctant to leave her quiet, routine life behind. But in the end, she agreed, knowing that a little change could do her some good. They put on an old comedy, one Julie hadn't seen in years. At first, she sat there, arms crossed, waiting for the movie to start. But as the laughter filled the room, something inside of her shifted. Before she knew it, Julie was laughing. The kind of laugh that made her stomach ache and tears roll down her face. For the first time in a long time, she felt lighter. The weight of her worries and the heaviness in her chest seemed to lift. Why do laughter and fun matter so much as you age? It's simple. Laughter is one of the most powerful tools we have to reduce stress. It lowers cortisol levels, which helps improve your mood and overall health. When you laugh, your body releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones that bring happiness and ease. It doesn't just make you feel better in the moment, it helps your long-term well-being. But laughter doesn't only affect your mind, it strengthens relationships too. People are naturally drawn to those who bring joy and laughter into their lives. It helps form deeper, more meaningful connections. And believe it or not, laughter can keep you young, both inside and out. Smiling and laughing improve circulation, boost your immune system, and even help with memory. It's like giving yourself a natural, joyful rejuvenation every time you laugh. So, how can you invite more joy into your life? Make time for fun, just like Julie did that evening. Watch a comedy, play games, or even try something new. Surround yourself with people who make you laugh, those who bring light and positivity into your life. You deserve that. Don't forget to seek out uplifting company, people who lift you instead of bringing you down. And find humor in everyday moments. Life doesn't have to be so serious all the time. Sometimes a small mistake or an awkward situation can turn into a funny story you'll laugh about later. Look for those little moments of levity and remember to reconnect with what made you happy in the past. Do you love dancing, singing, telling jokes? Bring that back into your life. Let joy be something you choose every day, not just something that happens to you. The night Julie spent with Linda was a turning point. She left her house feeling like a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. For the first time in a long time, she realized that joy wasn't something that just happened. It was something she had to create intentionally. The next morning, instead of turning on the news like she usually did, she played her favorite music and danced around her kitchen. And for the first time in ages, she felt alive again. She felt like herself, reconnected to the woman who had once found joy in the simplest moments. But when was the last time you had a good laugh? A real belly-shaking laugh that made you forget everything else for just a little while? Let's share some joy. Tell me about a time when laughter brought light back into your life. Share your story in the comments below, and let's fill this space with some much-needed joy. As we wrap up today's video, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've learned together. From understanding the importance of letting go of past hurts, to taking care of our health, seeking joy, and staying connected with loved ones, it all boils down to one thing: choosing to live fully. Life is full of opportunities to bring more light into our hearts, more laughter into our lives, and more connection with those we love. So, what's one thing you've learned today that you will bring into your own life? Maybe it's about letting go of a past regret, accepting help from others, or simply making time for laughter and joy. Whatever it is, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you plan to practice going forward. Your story might just inspire someone else to make a positive change. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave your comment, hit that like button, share this with others, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can continue bringing you more life-changing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.